Hello Scorpio, welcome to July 2016. This is Gwendolyn. Welcome back to the channel, or if it's your first time here, welcome. This video is going to be a Tarotscope for Scorpio for July 2016. So I'm just shuffling here for a bit, and then I'll get straight into the reading. For those of you who don't know, I use the Greer deck. This is, I love the illustrative sort of picture book quality of this deck, and I've got a link down below if you want to check out more about it. A lot of people really love this deck, so I just love the vibrancy of the colors of it. Okay, so Scorpio, it looks like at the beginning of the month you have Six of Wands in reverse. So Six of Wands is a card of acclaim, of triumph, of success. It's got the victory wreath of laurels here, and it's usually looked at as the rescuer, or someone who comes in on a white horse, saves the day. You know, it's a card of good reputation, good status, and it's a fire card, so it's Six of Fire, which means, you know, you kind of see that he comes in, it's a claim, basically. In the reverse position, it may mean that you're not getting the acclaim or the praise that's due to you. You may not be getting the recognition that you deserve, or conversely, it could be that you're not being helped or saved or rescued, that you're not feeling on top of your game. In this position, this person's on the horse. In this position, they're sort of bucked off the horse, or that they've been kicked out of a position of esteem, acclaim, good reputation, all of that. So it may mean that you feel like you've gotten off the horse of somewhere, that you had a good position, you had a lot of recognition, but something's changed. And it may mean, for some reason, for some of you, I'm getting the sense that it may mean like leaving a job that has high status or a high title to it. Because what's coming next is Six of Swords. So these are both six cards, which, you know, they're cards, sixes are cards of stability, generally. This one means travel and healing. Six of Swords means basically taking yourself or taking someone else from choppy, unstable waters to smoother, calmer horizons. So I've seen this card spoken about as recuperation, as literal as traveling, going to foreign or distant lands, going to smoother horizons. I've even heard this card be called science, because the swords represent the mental element, the air element. It has to do with thoughts and ideas, and this is thoughts and ideas going forward into the future. So recovery, healing. The sense I get is that there's some ways in which you lost your reputation, or lost your status, or lost a job, or left a job, something like that, and that you are now headed for smoother seas. You're now headed for your other horizons, other lands, and recovering from that, and then going somewhere else, traveling. This is a great card for travel. So that could be happening for you, Scorpio. It's at any rate, it's a new adventure, a new venturing off into the unknown. This is Seven of Swords, and this means someone who's interacting in a criminal way or underhanded way, and it means that someone's willing to like cut corners just to like, it's very me behavior. It's very much like, I'm going to take what's mine, I'm not worried about the consequences, I don't care, I'm gonna cover me and not worries. It's kind of underhanded, and it's kind of devious, so be aware of anyone who on your trip might not be being 100% upfront with you, or be aware of any sort of criminal or devious or me behavior. This could be you or someone else, but be aware that you might encounter some of that towards the beginning of July, Scorpio. And then this, I'm reading this as you, Scorpio. This is a water sign. This could be Pisces or Cancer, but I'm getting the sense that it's you. This is somewhat a bit of your younger self. This is Page of Cups. And cups represent the emotional element. It represents the heart energy. And in the reverse position, first of all, in the upright position, Page of Cups, I often read this as infatuation or passion or joy, things that makes your heart leap. And so it's sort of like that feeling of puppy love or teenage love or things that we get infatuated with, things that, it's like first love. But in the reverse position, I'm seeing, Scorpio, that maybe you're out of touch with your younger self, with what makes you, like when you think back to when you were a child or a teenager and what made you happy, what made you feel alive and impassioned and, you know, got your blood pumping essentially. If you're in the reverse position, you may have a hard time connecting with that. Like what makes me joyful? What makes me passionate and falling in love? What makes me feel fresh and renewed and like I want to just dive right in? That's a Page of Cups question. And the fact that it's in the reverse shows me that you may be a little bit out of touch with that, or it might be just hovering below the surface. You might need to do some clearing away or some unearthing or just looking within to really connect with that, Scorpio, especially towards the beginning of July. In the middle of the month, gosh, you have a lot of power characters here. You've got Temperance, you've got Magician, Fool. These are all three major arcana cards. So it's going to be a very strong and powerful and intense part of the month in the middle of July for you. You also have another major arcana card here towards the end, but this is really like a power trio here. And it talks about newness, finding the middle ground and finding and creating what's new. This card, Temperance, is all about doing things in a moderate way, finding bliss, finding grace, finding the moderate path, and sometimes even creating something new. This angel has one foot on the earth and one foot in water, so it means being balanced between being grounded and being in the emotional realm. And this card is a card of peace. It's a card of serenity. It's a card of calmness. So that's a good place to start from. And it's a card of compromise and moderation. So it's finding that place of peace. I get the sense that perhaps you look into what your heart wants and you find a place of serenity and calmness, even if it's in not knowing, but it's a place of contentment. Then these two cards, these are the first two cards of the entire deck. This is the 0 card, Potential Energy, All Things Are Possible. It's a real card of faith and trust and belief in the universe and belief in the divine to catch you when you leap. And then this card is all about focus of the mind. It's about creation. It's about aligning with your own personal power. You could see in this card, he's got the figure 8 of infinity above him. And he calls forth what's in the divine realm down into the mundane world and says, I can create it. He brings together all the elements that are available and brings them down. So these cards, both of them together, 0 and 1, really say time for new beginnings, time for new fresh energy. You see the white and the red in both of these cards. The white is sort of like blank slate, blank canvas, innocence, purity. And this red is all about passion and life force. So this, again, is kind of echoing what's going on here and connecting with your heart energy. But then when you get to the middle of the month, there's a lot of new, fresh energy and the ability to create what you want by focusing and concentrating on what it is. This card says that you're willing to step forth into a new journey, a new travel, go to smoother horizons. This says the beginning is here. This is sort of like when you arrive. This is new beginning adventures. This is what are you creating? What is it that you want? What do you want to bring into existence? Because Magician has the power to do that. These are all very powerful cards, but there is an innocence in both Fool and Temperance, calmness, a trust. They're both cards of faith and belief, and this card is about creating what you want. So it's surrounded by cards of faith and belief, and you may develop in the middle of the month a faith and belief in taking action, in creating what you want, bringing into the world, like starting. Magician can surround himself with whatever he wants. He is the creative force behind his own life. So it's all about focusing your attention, your concentration, your power, all into one direction. It's really focusing of the mind for creative purposes. So that's really 3 strong cards for you, Scorpio, for the middle of the month. It might be a real time of manifestation for you. And then I also see that there may be a fire sign involved. This is King of Wands. So fire signs are Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. And this could be like, for some reason I'm getting a best friend involved. This is someone who does things their own bold, charismatic, eccentric way. They don't do things in a run-of-the-mill way. And this is a person who actually has some authority. He's a king. So he's going to have some either good advice for you or good input, or he could be your cheering section. You know, with Fool followed with a king, these two are archetypes that work well together. Traditionally, Fool was similar to the Joker card, where he was there to serve the role of making people laugh and, you know, being carefree and jolly and jovial and just like creating sort of like a place where he could mock the king or the royal court. So I'm really getting best friend energy, and he could say anything he wanted and not have any consequences. So consequently, he could say really truthful things and point out to the king things that he did without being reprimanded in a harsh way. It was understood that he had this mocking jester energy. So the sense that I get too is that this king really helps Fool and Magician work well together. This is that new starter energy. I'm almost getting like he could be a mentor. If you're thinking about beginning some new endeavor where you are starting it off for the first time, but you really are connecting with it, you really see a vision for it, Scorpio, this is the guy who's going to help you with it. And that again is a fire sign, so Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. And then towards the end of the month, you have some 2 energy. If you'll notice, this is 2 of coins and this is 2 of swords. This can be like wavering on a decision. This one has more to do with the physical world, like money, assets, joint finances. If you are involved in a joint finance situation, it may turn upside down towards the end of the month. You may feel like you're juggling one thing to pay another, or, you know, in this card, he's on one foot and he's got several balls in the air. So finances may be like push and pull towards the end of the month. And then it's almost like you're checking out and trying to avoid making a decision. This 2 of swords, this is one idea, this is another idea. And it means like not being willing to choose between the 2 of them. So therefore you just blindfold yourself and check out. So 2 swords means like static, stasis, not facing things, not wanting to acknowledge a problem, not wanting to acknowledge a decision or make a decision, so you just check out. But I'm going to point out that in both of these cards, by blindfolding yourself, both of these cards, the figure is blindfolded. And so it means not acknowledging reality, not making the choice that needs to be made, not taking action. Both of these are actionless cards, and it's actually stripping you away of your strength and your power. This is strength. And in the upright position, it's pretty clear it just means strength. It means patience, endurance. This is soft strength, though. It's not like trying to control things in a hard way. It's soft control. She's able to open the lion's mouth because she's easing it open and coaxing it open. She's not forcing it open. So, but with strength in the reverse, it's saying that something is blocking your strength. Something's making you lose your strength. And the sense that I'm getting, since it's surrounded by both of these cards, it's because you're blindfolding yourself and you're not taking action. You're willfully, what this card is sometimes called is willfully blind, meaning I don't want to take action on either of these. I'm just going to stand here and check out. Same thing with this. This card is actually more about powerlessness and a belief that you are a victim. It's victim mentality, but really what I like to point out in this card is that she still has all the power to walk away if she wants to. She's not fully enclosed by these swords. She can walk away of her own free will at any moment. She just has to realize that she's not enclosed. She could cut these binds on any of these swords and pull off that blindfold and walk away at any time. There's actually no one there who's keeping her there. It's her belief, her faulty belief system. It's all these thoughts that are keeping her closed in. So I'm going to encourage you, Scorpio, to look at how can you take action, how can you take the blindfold off towards the end of the month and regain some of your power, some of your strength, because without taking action, it's just going to drain you. So my advice to you towards the end of the month, Scorpio, is to make sure that you take action. Even if it's the wrong thing, you can always change your mind later. But it's connecting with your own strength. Stand up for what you believe in. Do what you feel like you need to do. Don't just check out and not face things, because it will weaken you. So that's my reading for you, Scorpio, for July 2016. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to put those down in the comments. I always love responding or answering those. And feel free to like or share or subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, I'd just like to thank everyone for watching. Yours in the stars.